Hello, Buddhas. Today we are going to be talking about the power of making a list. Now, Buddhas, before we get started, I want to let you all know that I've got a playlist down below with well over 100 Buddha Billionaire videos so that you can have a spiritual awakening. Ask not. No. Don't ask not. You have not because you ask not. James 4:3. And what's so incredible about this, and I don't quote Bible very often, but this little sentence hit me like a ton of bricks the other day when I heard it in a VYOB video, which I'm going to link down below because it was fantastic. And the man does a way better job explaining exactly his point than I do. Very well done. But it really touched me. And you have not because you ask not means so many things. And the two things that really stand out to me is you have not in general because you haven't asked in general. And B, if you take a more modern interpretation of the word not to mean zero, it can also represent that you have zero because you ask zero. You have nothing in your life because you're asking for nothing. In not asking for things, you are filling that with asking for nothing. And the reason this is powerful is that in this video, the man challenges you to write a list of well over 100. I think he said it's about 300 things. And I have done that now, and I wrote a list that encompasses pages and pages and pages. I'm halfway through, guys. Pages and pages and pages of things. And Buddhas, writing a list of 300 individual unique things that you want is no easy task. It took me a couple hours to get through it, and I'm already in a headspace of thinking big and wanting things. I think I put nuclear bunker on there at some point because YOLO, and private island because why the heck not? And at the end of the day, am I going to feel like I failed at life if I don't get a nuclear bunker? No, not in any way whatsoever. It would be really freaking cool, and I wouldn't say no if the right opportunity arose just because, but it's not why I'm doing any of this. What happens when you write down a list of what you want is you start to realize that you are a little grain of rice in this big universe and you have really, really small dreams and goals, and it's kind of pathetic. And once you understand that about yourself and you go, wait a minute, but I want to be big, I want to enjoy this world, and I want to realize my greatest wishes and desires. Well, when you realize that, then you have to stretch. You have to become the being that is comfortable even asking for silly things. Private jet. Do I need a private jet? Well, in today's society, actually, private jet is kind of useful with all the airlines going under. But again, it's not one of those things that I would cry at night if I didn't have a private jet. But in asking for the ludicrous, alongside, I think I put Mini Cooper, because I want a car. It's kind of a theme of my videos lately. I want to get a car, and a Mini Cooper is a kind of car that I would like to have in my reality right now. Because it makes sense, it fits my life right now. But I put Mini Cooper, and then I put Ferrari Roma right below it. And then I think I put Aventador, and Cybertruck, and it starts to expand your mind a little. I even put like some classic cars on there, like Jaguar E-Types and a Ford GT. Collectible cars, because I have nowhere to put them, but if I put them on the list together and I can objectively look at that list and say, oh, these are cool things that I would like to have and I want, and I've really stretched my mind doing the mental exercises, then grabbing the Mini Cooper doesn't seem so outlandish when it's sitting right beside $200, $300, $400, $500,000. I put a Bugatti on there too, and a Koenigsegg. Oh, I gotta add Koenigsegg. So when you put all this stuff in the same list, you're like, okay, these are the cars I want to get. It's not about necessarily which one you get first. The order in which I get these cars means nothing to me. the importance in which I get these cars is at 0, because I'm not emotionally invested and attached to the idea of driving a Ferrari to work every day. There's 2 feet of snow outside right now, and the roads are covered in salt and crap where I live. I don't want a Ferrari. It wouldn't make sense. But having a Ferrari in my villa vineyard in Tuscany, all of a sudden, yeah, okay, a Ferrari would be a nice car to have there. Maybe alongside of something smaller too for the inside streets. You know, the little towns in Italy, they're hard to drive around. Ferraris are nice, but they're not great on cobblestone. So Buddhas, I wanted to bring this all to your attention and talk a little bit ludicrously about spending outlandish amounts of money and asking for somewhat outlandish things, really, because that is how you expand your consciousness. If you're constantly just thinking in your little head, being like, oh, I'm happy with what I have, and I wouldn't want to ask for anything more because that would mean that I have things, well, guess where you're going to stay. And if that's you and that's what you want, congratulations, you made it. Not entirely sure what you should do next. But for everyone else that is actually interested in expanding their world around you, wouldn't it be cool to have a private chef that cooks all your meals for you or teaches you how to cook? And wouldn't it be cool to have all these outlandish rich things, but not to see them as like, I've got to have the 10,000 square foot mansion or else I'm a failure, but to see them as nice to haves and, oh, it would be really cool if I had a Ferrari next to a Mini, and then I get to choose what I want to drive when I want to drive it. Not because I feel that I'm less of a person because I'm driving a Ferrari, or less of a person because I'm driving something other than a Ferrari, but just today is Ferrari feeling day and tomorrow might be Mini Cooper feeling day. The options are what come out. And when you start to write it down, it's the first step in making it real. And Buddhas, watch that video from VYOB because it really summarizes this even better than I have. It's got some sick beats too. And it's an incredible exercise to go through. So I challenge you to write out that list. You can put some top 10 things maybe in the comments down below if you want to share some of the big dreams that you have with the community. And Buddhas, remember, at the end of the day, the #1 thing on anybody's list is to love yourself.